All right, English 1301 folks, what I'm going to do right now is walk through the guidelines and expectations for a multimedia project. If you haven't already, maybe take some time to look at the paper portfolio, instructional video, and rubric, and then take a glance at this so that you just have an idea moving forward about what the expectations are so they don't kind of creep up on you. I'm going to pull up the multimedia project guidelines that are posted on D2L and walk through those here. I just want you to remember that the assignment itself is worth 150 points, so another large grade in addition to those 300 points for the paper topic discussion posts and portfolio. So the multimedia project is just a kind of fun way to dig into some ideas in a more creative format. So instead of ending the semester with a full-on research essay, we're doing this in addition to your paper portfolio. So we're breaking apart some of the general expectations that would go along with the research paper into two creative assignments, or two assignments that have the option of creativity. This one especially though. Instead of that paper assignment, you can get creative and create a video, create a game, like a board game or an online game. You can create a drawing or sculpture or even a PowerPoint. You can still get pretty creative with PowerPoint. So the options are limitless. I've had students do a number of different kinds of projects, and every semester I'm surprised by some new way that a student explores ideas. So don't feel pinned in by any of the things that have been done previously or anything that I'm listing here, okay? I do list some of the options right here, but again, don't feel like you have to follow any of those. Some of you in your online introductions mentioned some of your hobbies, so really explore hobbies that you already have, or if you want to get into something like artwork or songwriting, this would be a nice opportunity to do that. I have in this instructional set of guidelines included some links to just kind of give you examples of past student projects. I do want you to note that this is my first time doing this in the composition course, so I don't have specific examples from this kind of class. We're experimenting this summer session, which I'm really excited about, but seeing other people from my literature courses can still kind of give you some inspiration and ideas. So if you click on this link, this is going to take you to a YouTube video. Just take a few seconds to watch.
So I'm walking down the street like I always do. Then I see this girl looking oh so cute. I'm like, but I don't know what to say. So I pass her up every day. Like maybe she'll notice and say hello. I don't know, but I'ma try my best. Oh no, oh yo yes. She finds out what's up, blah blah.
Okay, so that's a student from a past literature course, and he was creating a video. And he wrote that song, like he is a performer. So he's creating a video to kind of offer a visual representation of a short story that we read. But as you'll notice, his name is Anthony. Anthony wasn't striving for perfection in the video. It was, cute and fun, but it still related truly to the story. He, the kids in the video, one of which was his little brother, were enacting what actually happened in that short story. But he also, had the lyrics at the bottom so we could really make those connections. So again, just something, but again, this is something where you can explore, your creativity. So it doesn't have to be highly stylized. It doesn't have to be a video that's super flashy. It's just something fun to kind of dig into some of the ideas that we'll address this semester. So if we go back to the guidelines, there's also a link to a blog that I take care of, and it has links to different folks' projects. So I had a student in the past, her name was Jocelyn, and so we read the story Beowulf. This was in a British literature course, and so she was a great artist, so she created a piece of art that depicted the monster Grendel. So this is Jocelyn's artwork right here. I had a student also, Veronica, also from Beowulf. She wanted to dig into some of her skills with origami. So instead of just showing the full and complete product when it comes to origami, she really wanted to showcase, how intensive the work is, which I really want you to think about, because sometimes just seeing that finished product doesn't show all the work and effort you put into it. And taking it step by step often gives people an idea of, what it takes to create something like that. So she's showed kind of step by step all the different uh, different elements she had to kind of connect in order to finally make the dragon. So there's a dragon in the short story, or the epic Beowulf as well. And so and this took days for her to do, right? And in addition to the projects, everybody also submitted a short essay, which I'll get to in a moment. But just think about the fact that there are some examples that you can kind of take a look at if you wanted to just kind of see what people have done in the past. We have a student who did a PowerPoint and another link to Anthony's video that we just watched a little bit of. So take some time to look through those. They're kind of fun. So the requirements are that this project does need to be focused on a kind of issue or text that we've discussed in class. So our overarching topic this summer session is going to be food. It's just something that we can all think about and write about. We can share parts of our culture through discussions of food. So it's a really useful topic. And often it leads to stuff beyond food, like thinking about memories or the importance of connection. So food is a starting point, but it often leads to different places. So if you wanted to examine Choi's article, we're going to read Amy Choi's article, What Americans Can Learn from Other Food Cultures. If you want to dig into the ideas that she has related to food as community, so you're examining that text and the specific notion of food as a community, but then you're also making some connections to yourself. So maybe you want to create a PowerPoint that does that, or you create a piece of art. It's whatever you want to do. Or if you want to create, a piece of artwork that depicts a meal from your food memory, so again, you just need to make sure that it somehow connects back to the class and some of the things that we've talked about or read. Okay. If you do have questions, you can always post in that Q&A discussion area, or shoot me an email. Just give me enough time to respond before it's due if you have some meaningful questions about this. The project does need to be created for this class. So don't just kind of go through, if you're an artist, go through old projects or old creations and try to pass them off as new, right? We want it to be specifically created for this class. This is where we get into issues of plagiarism, because yes, you can plagiarize yourself, so don't reuse anything, right? You also, for this assignment, really need to be able to somehow upload the finished product to D2L. So in the past, when people have created pieces of art, they just take a picture of it and they upload a JPEG file or something on D2L. So I want you to always think of that, especially if you're thinking about a video, because in the past, students have tried to upload videos to D2L, and the time it takes for a file of that size to upload is really it won't work. D2L will time out before you're able to do that. And then there's also the issue of format. Sometimes you will upload it in a format that other people can't see. If I can't see it, I can't grade it, right? So if you want to do a video, you need to somehow utilize YouTube, right? Which is what I do for these videos, just because it's easy to access, okay? Just things to think about. Don't get too, caught up in trying to plan for your final project just yet. I just want you to start letting the wheels turn a little bit when you're thinking about each week as we go through some of these different ideas and discussions, okay? So in addition to being able to post all of this on D2L in a discussion area, you need to also, because it's, composition, you need to write a little bit. So in the discussion board of D2L, you're going to upload your file, which is your finished product, right? Or a link to YouTube or whatever it ends up being. But then in the text box, like you've been doing so far with your discussions, you're going to have 3 paragraphs, which I really urge you to compose in Microsoft Word so you can spell and grammar check, right? The first paragraph is going to just describe your project. So if there's just a piece of artwork on the screen for people to see, they might not understand why you chose it, what's going on, what does this relate to? So you're going to describe your project in the first paragraph. What it means and why you chose this medium. Are you trying something new? Are you already, a very skilled watercolorist? Give us some information about that, okay? Paragraph 2 is probably the most important in terms of grading. This is where in the past a lot of students lose points, so heads up, pay attention to paragraph 2. This is where you cite a text. right, that you have chosen. Either you're digging into that text specifically, or you're going back to the text to support your ideas like you would in a research paper. So if you created a piece of art about this incredible food memory, you still need to bring in texts that we've read this semester or addressed this semester to kind of support some of your ideas, okay? So cite your text in connection to the project. You need to establish some sort of critical connection, right, between the project and the text, okay? So you need to offer quotes and page numbers. We don't need a works cited for this because these are texts that we all should have read. So if you created that food memory piece of art and you want to bring in Amy Choi's article to support your ideas, just make sure you're giving her credit for the quotes that you're using and offering some sort of reference to her, right? In the final paragraph, then it becomes, okay, make that connection. Why is it relevant overall to, why is the project relevant overall to the class and what we've learned? How does it connect? And then also kind of dig into the text again. How did that text help you work through your ideas about this project? Don't be thrown off by any of this. Again, these things will develop as we go through the next couple of weeks, and you get to see the texts that we're looking at this semester, as well as some of the ideas and writing that we do about food, okay? Finally, the grade distribution. This is information taken from the syllabus. 125 points will be that actual finished product, the project, and that short essay, okay? And when I say the finished product, again, it's not perfection. I've had a lot of students who they really just wanted to try something new, but the end result wasn't beautiful, amazing, super artistic, you know, as a viewer, but I knew how much time and effort the person put into it, especially if they took pictures of the process along the way. So I am not an art critic. I'm not going to judge your artwork or your poetry or anything like that. I just want to see that you put effort into it and you put thought into connecting what you're doing to the things we've discussed this semester, okay? I will count off for the short essay, right? So make sure you revise and edit and do all the work that you need to do for writing in this class. The final 25 points for this assignment will be that discussion area. You're going to post in the D2L discussion board, and then you're responsible to respond to at least 5 people, right? So take the time and you know, congratulate people for those creative works that they shared with one another. So you'll need to respond to at least 5 people, if not more, by the last day of class. Okay, so just something to keep in mind. We do have a course reflection that's also due on that day, so you just want to plan your time wisely. As I'm talking about time, I want you to also plan your time for creating and finishing this project wisely. A lot of times I have students who just no experience in creating a piece of art, or some sort of, some people have created online Instagram accounts or something like that, and they just don't realize how much time some of these things take. So make the best choices for you. You know your time requirements and you know your patience levels. So make sure that you're choosing some sort of project that you actually have time to complete and finish in a way that you think is meaningful and that will get you the best grade, or the grade that you want at least, okay? So take a look through these requirements and the examples, and of course let me know if you have any questions in the Q&A area, or you can always shoot me an email. A lot of times before the due date, students will shoot me an email and say, hey, is this okay? I will reach out to you and just kind of, maybe have a discussion post for that week, the writing journal, that says, hey, share what you plan to do, just so that we can kind of talk through and work through and make sure that you're going to meet those expectations with your project. All right, good luck. And again, let me know if you have any questions. Hang in there.